charity. We could talk about that.
Yeah.
So charity is obviously something you can do year round, but it's especially nice during the holiday season where you're buying gifts for people, you're feeling generous, and it's just like a nice thing to do with your community. So you guys, I know you killed it on a charity stream earlier this year. What has been your experience with doing these type of events, these charity events?
We do. So for me, it's hard to do one at what I like to do as far as around the holidays is I find other casters that are doing holiday streams and kind of promote them. So for instance, my best friend just did her Big Toys for Tots stream. So I was very supportive of that. I've got someone else who's doing a Testicular Cancer Society stream, which is the big charity that we do. So like we focus on that and basically like trying to get people to go to those places and help support those charity events because my big event is in March. But because of Tiltify and like how easy it is now to do charity streaming, as far as setting up for a charity stream, I'm not saying charity streaming is easy by any stretch of the imagination, but as far as how easy it is now to interact with charity organizations, like now's a prime time to do charity streams. So I think it's a really, really good idea if you guys are interested in doing charity events. But for me, my thing that I strongly recommend is take the amount of planning you would do for a longer stream if you were here earlier and multiply that by like a zillion. Because I work year round. I have a deck that we use for our charity event. I have contacts that I use for our sponsors for that event. And I work year round on securing things for the event. So like last year we gave away a 1080 and like we gave away, I don't even know how many games and like $400 in Steam cards. And like we try to secure as much as we can. And then I end up pouring a bunch into it too, because it's my favorite thing. But like if you're going to do them around the holidays, there are so many great organizations that you can raise money for. Sorry, I'm apparently asleep.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't even have to like go super big, right? Like, I wouldn't say you should just like make a campaign link and then be like, hey guys, you want to donate? Here you go. Like, this is happening. You do want to put some effort into it. You don't have to like pour your life savings into giveaways, but even if it's like things like that, you're like, Kylie does the little plushies. Like, I'm sure you give those away for like donation goals or something for your charity streams, right?
Like, people love getting like seeing you get messy too. Like I like
like pie to the face or
like I play a lot of egg roulette. So
oh god, what is that?
What is egg roulette?
Egg roulette is where basically you hard boil a few eggs and then you take some raw eggs and then you number them, and then I do it with the giveaway bot where the winner gets to choose the number. And then I have to take it and smash it on my face. And if it breaks and it's not raw, it doesn't go everywhere. But if it breaks and it's raw, it goes everywhere.
Dude, even like a hard-boiled egg would be like...
it's weird. It's weird.
It's not great.
But yeah, and then we did cupcakes one year where like for every $100, I smashed a cupcake in my face by the end of the stream.
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Smash the cupcake.
Right?
We've also done the baby food challenge where like I get like random types of baby food and number them, and then same thing, like they get to pick a number and then I have to eat it. And baby food is disgusting, by the way. Like it's really bad.
Sure, it doesn't smell good.
Had baby food. Well, I did the jelly beans, the Harry Potter. You don't know what you're gonna get.
the bean boozled.
Yeah. I won't do those anymore. I had a bad experience with the skunk ones, and I can't.
I always kept getting an earthworm.
I didn't even have those flavors. I just had dead fish was the absolute worst one, and vomit. Okay, it's not dead. It should be called rotten fish because it's not. It doesn't taste like a dead fish. I like fish. I don't like rotten Oh, so bad. It was
talking about it is gross. But going
back
to
I do the mouth guard thing too. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the mouth guard. No, you're fine. But like hand making stuff. Like it doesn't even have to be plushies. Like I remember I did a Zelda. I did a charity for Take This, and Take This is obviously like it's all centered around like the Legend of Zelda because you know here take this and it's a sword. But I did like a whole week long thing. So you don't have, some people do really long streams, but I decided, I was like, I don't really want to do a really long stream. I just decided to dedicate 1 week out. And everything was Legend of Zelda themed. Like we'd play obviously Legend of Zelda games. I did like perlers. I did like a baking stream. And I also created like Zelda themed, I don't have the image of it, but the Zelda themed plushies where I made Link and Zelda, and then I gave those away to the top donators of that charity. And I don't know, you can either go all in and make that, because I mean a whole week dedicated can take a lot out of people, but if you're willing to do it, then do it. If you're not, okay, even I think some people get so overwhelmed when they think about charities, like, oh, it's like, oh my god, I didn't do good if I didn't hit over like 1,000, or I didn't do good because I didn't hit over 500. Like any amount to any kind of charity, do you understand how meaningful that is for any type of charity? So like, if you're gonna do one, don't worry about like having, if you don't hit your goal, that's another thing. If you have a goal and you don't hit it, you know what, it's still okay. Like
you tried,
and you put time aside to dedicate to something like this, and that really, it's meaningful. It's meaningful.
I mean, and it's your community likes doing that stuff too, like, you know, especially if you do like if you pick a charity that really resonates with some of your viewers. Like, you know, when we do streams for St. Jude, like, you know, like people come out with their stories about how they know people that have been, you know, affected by cancer and stuff like that. So, and those people, you know, if they can donate to the cause, or they're just like, you know, really grateful that you're doing that. You know, like it doesn't really matter how much you raise, and it doesn't even matter how grand it is. But yeah, these are definitely some good ideas for like basic, simple things, like, you know, hand making or doing something that you're good at that you could give as incentives. Like, you don't have to go all out, but yeah, like having some kind of planning is always a good idea.
We also do a oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
We do a lot of like more so awareness, so like that's something else you can think about, especially depending on the type of charity that you work with. So since we focus on the Testicular Cancer Society, our goal not only to like just, you know, raise a lot of money for this organization, but it's also to bring awareness and like teach people how to check and like what to do. So like even say like even if we only brought in like $100, that's $100 that they didn't have, and maybe that story has reached someone that otherwise wouldn't know how to check or whatever, and they could have been in a bad situation. So like it doesn't matter how much you raise, as long as you're bringing some type of awareness to whatever cause you want to discuss.
You can affect a lot of people and like in a good way. Like I usually do AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and Take This is also about mental health, and I hear a lot of stories that come out, and a lot of people just feel so much better to be able to just obviously bring awareness, and also to give like links out of like, hey, if you're really struggling, here is like some maybe tips that you can do, or how to find a therapist if you're wanting to find one. Like that, just that enough is also really good. You're helping not necessarily if you don't raise that much, you're helping the community. You're helping not only your community, but just anybody that comes into your stream to be like, hey, look, I'm not alone.
And I really like that charity for the holidays season too, because, you know, it's a very joyful time, but for a lot of people it's also like a very like lonely feeling kind of time. So that's a great charity idea. I think that, you know, if you want to just tie in with what Twitch is doing, they're going to be supporting Direct Relief this year for their Bits campaign. So you can just like kind of piggyback on what they're doing and be like, hey, you know, Twitch is raising money by if you cheer with hashtag charity. But we're also raising money on our own too. So if you feel like donating a little bit extra, or you can choose to give like a portion of your bits or tips or subs and be like, yeah, we're gonna join Twitch in this. That's actually, I think, what I did last year. They did Doctors Without Borders last year, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just make a charity event like out of this right now. So
yeah, or just like allowing, like even just doing research on the like on your own, like, oh, what is direct relief, and if people ask like what it is, then you can actually fill
being able to
them
talk
in.
about it.
Yeah, it like opens it up, and then that's another way that you could like participate in something like that as well. So that's good.
Yeah. We're gonna open up to some questions